This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome to Dr. TSPR show. This is Dr. Tangella Shiva Prasad Reddy alias Dr. TSPR. Namaste, Adab, hello. Another interesting live show with our honorable and esteemed guest, Dr. Valecha from Gujarat. And what a better topic, very contemporary. This is the need of the hour. Everyone is confused, right from unfortunate parents. Even I am one among parents. Like that, parents, citizens, and the household, our women folk, all likewise, our farmers, everyone, right from rural, semi urban, urban, everyone is confused. To reel out of this confusion, Dr. Maya Valechi has selected this topic. She said, why not we do something? Sensitize people. So I said, Madam, please come. Then what a better way. What is your right in this pandemic? Not just pandemic, when it comes to health, because health is wealth. Until and unless you have health, no state, no nation can boast of anything. Your own individual self, your own family too. Such an important aspect. The health concerns only you. Only you. That is you and that is your right. So today's topic is that. Let us have few words from our honorable guest, and after that I'll just try to present certain rights thing. And Maya Valecha ji, last 1 year she was doing her solo videos also. That also I would love to bring it to the notice of all the viewers. Welcome to the special show, madam, once again.
Namaste. Okay. As you have rightly said, right from the beginning of this so-called pandemic, because we don't know it's actually a pandemic, but or we are sure it's not actually a pandemic. But what we were seeing, two things. On one hand, we were listening to all national, international experts on corona. At the same time, we were looking at our healthcare system, not only our, but the experience of other countries also. And then we started comparing with what we were before this pandemic, what the healthcare system was like, then what it took shape, and then we arrived at a conclusion that what changes are required in our healthcare system, right? So let me first explain that what we mean by healthcare system today is, before 90s, we had a robust government healthcare system structure, and it was working more or less fine, in the sense that anybody can go to a government hospital and used to get, because I have worked in government hospitals, we were trained in government hospitals, so I know that they were working fine. When the private practitioners could not manage at that time, actually, so the government hospitals were more equipped than the private hospitals in past. Let's remember that. The new generation will not know it, but before 90s, that was the situation in our country. Slowly, with the privatization in all the fields, it so happened that government hospitals started it. I mean, it was a conscious act. Let me tell you, privatization was introduced in all the fields, and we know that whenever the privatization is introduced, the government system starts worsening. So government hospitals started getting less funds, less equipments, less staff, and that's how it is. There were no charges before 90s. I mean, you can go walk into any government hospitals, no charges for the case paper, no charges for X-ray, any investigation, no charges. I mean, when the first time charges were introduced in Baroda Medical College Hospital, we actually had a rally and they had to stop it. This I'm talking before 20-25 years. Now, I mean, it is justified that yes, government hospitals can charge. That was never there in our country. So that is for, I mean, not only free, but a quality good health care is our right. That was always there and we have to get it back. It was there to a great extent, which now we have to get it back. So what I'm suggesting, I mean, what we observed, even before pandemic, we know that in our country, a very because it slowly started decreasing budgeting of the government hospitals. They started decreasing. I mean, they started deteriorating. So people started going to the private hospitals, not only big hospitals, even to a small general practitioners. We won't go to the government clinics, but we will go to the private because on one side, because they were not increasing funds, they were not increasing staff, they were not increasing facilities, you will find large queues. At the end of it, you have to anyway pay something there. So people started going to the private hospitals. And before Corona also, we knew that we were being subjected to unnecessary investigations, unnecessary medicines, unnecessary surgeries. People knew it, but there was no alternative. People thought this is the only, I mean, and people never took health as an important subject either in election or in their daily life. Whenever they have one person ill in the family, they will think it for some time and then forget and get into the routine life. Now that has to change because this 1.5 year we have not thought anything except health. So now we could concretize our ideas that what exact change we should bring. And for that we did study many healthcare systems. One thing, because I have studied in medical colleges of 60s and 70s, I know what a real government hospital should be or were there. So that experience was there. Then the countries where government healthcare system is nationalized, how the people are getting treatment there, that also I collected. People from, I mean, those who have studied in China, I talked to them. People who have studied in Russia. I have myself been to Australia. So I have personal experience of a nationalized healthcare system in the present scenario. That was one thing. Now what happened as soon as the pandemic started? At that time, 80% of the people were going to the private hospitals before pandemic. Even the ambulances, I mean, Indian Express report says that 80% of the ambulances in Mumbai were run by private agencies, and they all stopped. As soon as the corona was declared, they all stopped. They closed their doors. The people, only 20% people, the government hospitals were caring for only 20% of the people. They had to take the whole load of 100%. And still, let me tell you, our government hospitals did very good. They did very good in the scenario where they were not funded properly for last 30 years and they were not equipped so well, and still they have done very well. Let's be very clear that if properly funded, our government infrastructure in general, that we have a primary healthcare center, community healthcare centers, we can always improve upon. But we have a basic structure in our government healthcare system. Now, how to further improve it? Why we need nationalization? That all had to be worked upon. So We prepared a primary draft. That first and foremost thing, we as people were sandwiched between the two parallel systems. One government, the other private. And we know whenever the two parallel systems work, it is the private system that does not allow the government system to function. We know it telecom, we know it in petrochemical, that once the private system comes, it just destroys the public. Public means our public system, it just destroys and it creates an air that government systems can't function, only private players can. Now, the healthcare is such an important part of our life. We cannot leave it to these profit oriented people. We can live without telephone if we can't afford, but we have to have our healthcare as a basic right. And for that, complete nationalization. We want only one system, and that is nationalized perfect system. Now that the second question that came, because people have seen the nationalization of banks. That's the first thing comes to their mind. That if the nationalization did, one thing is that even nationalization of banks has done a lot of good things to our country. Every village, every poor people got their bank accounts and benefits of banking, but because of they were under the control of politicians and bureaucrats. No, in healthcare system, it's our life. We want a complete structure where it will be under our control, under people's control. So I'll give you just one example how it's possible. That a particular hospital caters to a particular area. So in the management committee itself, people will say who will be, some representative, not the political parties like that. Those who are actually working among the people. Every 2 years, we will have in the management committee of the hospitals our people. Second thing, all hospitals are supposed to have a public meeting every month. Whosoever wants to go, and in that public meeting, people will have the right to tell that this is what we are facing difficulties in the hospital and we want these kind of changes, and this is the way. There people can say anything, whether it's the behavior of the staff, it's less staff, we are not getting medicines, we are not getting anything. Third thing, it will be like drug industry, the most important one. Why this corona? Please, let's all understand, it's the drug industry which has totally taken over our health. Now they want to earn anyhow. And it has been, once the question was asked in the parliament just last year during this pandemic, that there's a nexus, everybody knows it. It's not any secret that there's a nexus between the doctors and the drug industry. So what the government wants to do, that is, the first part was established. Many NGOs have established that part, that there is a nexus between the drug industry, that is pharmaceutical industry, and doctors. So doctors blindly prescribe whatever is the prescription given by the pharmaceutical industry. And we know pharmaceutical industries are as there for their profit. And that's why we are in this mess of corona today. Right up to the WHO, it has been proved that at the time of swine flu, I tell you, Parliamentary Assembly of Council of Europe, as they started an inquiry what all happened during the swine flu. Just like this time, a vaccine was brought immediately. Within few months, vaccine was brought, that there's no way for this world to exist without the vaccine. That vaccine created hundreds of young people had narcolepsy with that vaccine. It has to be stopped. But governments had already bought it. Like today, our government has booked many vaccines even before So money was already paid. Pharmaceutical companies earned it also, and that had to be destroyed, that vaccine. And it turned out that there was no pandemic actually, swine flu. But that time there were few, honest doctors who were in that parliamentary committee. Over the time, these companies have not only with the help of money power, they donate simple to WHO, to this Parliamentary Council of Europe also now it funds. So imagine the power of these pharmaceutical companies. So in our nationalization project, first thing to be demanded, it's not only the hospitals, not only the medical colleges, but also the pharmaceutical industry had to be nationalized and brought under people's control. We will today, there are so many questions. What is there in this vaccine? What is there in this drug? How this drug was passed? We have to go to the court. That what was the trial? No. In a nationalized healthcare system, the system will be transparent. Everybody has to got the right, and people will, like today, you and me are telling, we are rather shouting that, and there are, even epidemiologists, public health experts of our country are saying that there is immunity reaching to 100% world over. Dr. Bhakdi, an international eminent immunologist, has come out with videos that 99.5% of the population of the world is having this corona memory from previous viruses. We don't need vaccine. We have our memory, we have immunity, but nothing is working because total control of this pharmaceutical industries on our healthcare system. We have to change. We can't leave it in private hands for their profit purpose. So that is first thing. One more important thing, which I know Dr. Siva Prasad is very much interested, and that is, Western countries, they have only one system, allopathy. No, our country, on one hand, it is cheaper. There are so many other systems of medicine, our old Ayurveda, then homeopathy came, then there is, I believe, Siddha is very much prevalent in South India. So these are age-old methods which our country has survived. We have our medicine in our day-to-day food. Now all these things are put to the side. Why? Because it's not given like, okay, Ayurveda, homeopathy, they are Ayush, but because of the money power of allopathy, these pharmaceutical industries, they are not getting their due respect or their due place in the system. So one of the draft which we have prepared, because today, see, a patient doesn't know which, should I take Ayurveda, should I take homeopathy, should I go for Siddha, should I go for allopathy? Actually, I'll tell you, in China, under the nationalized healthcare system, right from the time of education, a medical student is taught all the branches. One full subject for Chinese traditional medicine. So even an allopathy doctor knows. And throughout this so-called pandemic also, in their all the hospitals, they have Chinese traditional medical experts also. Do we have that in medical colleges? All the government hospitals having all the branches, doctors available? No, we don't have, because allopathy has taken over with its money power. Basically, it's money power. So that has to be, so to actually have a proper use of all our knowledge, Indian knowledge, someone can say homeopathy is not Indian, but now it's very much prevalent in India. It's been established in India, but not everybody can, sometimes people don't have access. Sometimes people don't know that these are all things also available. So it has to be in the system. In a nationalized healthcare system, the way China is practicing both and giving rather more importance to the 92% of the patients in for corona, they had given Chinese traditional medicine that is there in the their white paper. So we also have successes with other treatments, but it just doesn't get publicized. People don't know that these are the other treatments. As soon as your test comes positive, you have to get admitted to a COVID hospital where only allopathy will be given. Right? So even the test, I don't think this RT-PCR test or anything is valid in Ayurveda or homeopathy. Why? It's all symptoms. Even to tell you truth, allopathy itself never advocated first the test and then treatment. No, we always, first 2, 3, 4, we just decide clinically whether it is appears virus or it bacterial. And then if the patient doesn't get all right, then we go for some test. Now this total, even the allopathic knowledge is totally made upside down because of this money power of pharmaceutical industry. So now it's a question of, say, people for a long time thought that all those who have money, we can buy health, we can go to any hospitals and have treatment. But today your money has become your enemy. How? If the doctor knows that you have more money, if your doctor knows that, or the hospitals know that you have proper insurance, then you are unnecessarily investigated, you are given extra medicines, extra surgery, everything. You are more harassed if you have more money, if you have more insurance. So this has totally, we have to take the things in our hand now.
Yeah.
And so how? See, just one sentence and then you say something. If you go to a bank, you will immediately get an SMS. Did you get proper service? How were you satisfied? Similarly, the whole government healthcare system can be so arranged that it's the people whose satisfaction will be asked. Among people, there will be, like today, you, me, there are so many who are shouting, literally shouting that this is not the way corona, or for that matter any virus, is to be either diagnosed or treated. World famous doctors are saying that, but money power of pharmaceutical industry has totally taken over everything. Media is also, money makes the mayor run. That's the what it is happening, and that has to be broken with nationalized healthcare system, including drug industry, under the control of people, direct democratic control.
Yeah, they're requesting that your sound is intermittent. First, they wanted you to use the mic. That is one thing, and interesting things.
Okay, you could have told me earlier. Shall I get my headphones?
Yeah, another thing is medical insurance totally ruined this profession. So meanwhile you just get adjusted. I'll try to play certain things for.
Get my.
Yeah. Share. Yeah, I'm just trying to bring something to the knowledge.
Or you could have told me early, very early. People should.
No, because
should have
you are in your best. So I thought I'll not disturb you.
Oh no.
So that is the only way problem I had. Whatever, this is not happening.
Okay, is it okay now?
I think I'll ask them. Is it okay? All those who are watching, are you able to hear her?
can see some of the comments.
Yeah.
I can't. Yes. Can you hear
Now
properly?
they say it
Or
is
you
fine.
were-
Yes, it is fine, they say. And they were talking about medical insurance also. So I'm just trying to open something. Some. Why this is so many.
Our slogan is, my birth in this country is my insurance.
Yeah.
My citizenship of India is my insurance. I should be, I have the right to get all the treatments free and good quality.
I know.
That's my insurance, because I'm born in this country. I'm citizen of this country, and it's my right to get.
Some problem. I wanted to open the preamble, but somehow there's some problem. Anyhow, I'll just try to. So this is the article.
our
This is your right.
constitution.
I wanted to even the preamble. So
Okay.
and they are asking better sound. Now you can speak a bit louder. So
Yeah. Okay. Maybe this.
yeah.
Now, is it loud enough?
Yes, it is better now. So I am trying to put the constitution for you. Equality before law. The state shall not deny to any person equality before the law or equal protection of the laws within the territory of India. Prohibition of discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth. Whether you are vaccinated or not vaccinated, that doesn't matter. So you are equal before law. This is one thing, the narrative part. And then going to the other aspect, freedom. Article 19 of the Constitution provides the freedom of speech, which is the right to express one's opinion freely without any fear through oral, written, electronic, broadcasting, press. Freedom of expression includes freedom of press. So press runs on Article 19 and everyone is free to opine. Whether you like this treatment, allopathy, Ayurveda, homeopathy, Siddha, naturopathy, Khadarvalli's medicine or Chaudhary's nice treatment or anything else, you have every right. This is why we are saying your right to health, because it is you. And you means in India, it's a republic country. Try to understand. In India, it's a republic country. We ourselves submitted the constitution to ourselves. That means we are a constitution by ourselves. That means you are a constitutional authority on your own. So no one can influence you, no one can threaten you, no one can impose anything on you, because you are a constitutional authority. This is what I am trying to put. Article 19 of the Constitution provides you that freedom, and even the press, the broadcast which is happening also is because of this Article 19 of the Constitution. Article 14, all are equal before law. Vaccinated or unvaccinated, what is all? You are all equal as a citizen. Then 19 provides you the freedom of expression. Speech, you can express. That is how we journalists use this, because this is the one which has provided in the Constitution, and the basic structure of Constitution. Supreme Court also analyzed that the fourth pillar, so-called fourth pillar journalism, comes under the purview of Article 19. So express. Don't fear. You and yourself, you are a constitutional authority by your own self. Then comes, here it is, the Article 21. Once you understood Article 14, 19, why Mayaji is saying nationalization of everything, not just treatment, health, but pharmacy too. Because ill-gotten money is trying to destroy for their own needs. That is why everything is being imposed. This is what Dr. Maya Valecha meant. So that is why Article 21 is very, very crucial. Protection of life and personal liberty. Kindly understand. You are a constitutional authority, every individual, herself or yourself. So, you are a constitutional authority and all these articles are there to take care of your interests as a citizen. These are all fundamental rights. Protection of life and personal liberty. Article 21 states that no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to a procedure established by law. Thus, Article 21 secures two rights, right to life and right to personal liberty. Kindly understand, the topic of the day is the same. Right to life, right to health, that is you as a constitutional authority. So, thus Article 21 secures two rights, right to life and right to personal liberty. Every high court comes with this inherent strength to protect the personal liberty and right to life. Why high courts are not acting except for Meghalaya, Assam, Guwahati court, and again their government is trying to interpret and try to bring out a different thing. So don't get confused, citizens of India. High court has to come to the rescue of every citizen. It is that inherent strength to protect us. Article 21, right to life and right to personal liberty. These are very, very, very fundamental in any, whether it is pandemic or otherwise your health, and even with that health, your own livelihood also, which Meghalaya High Court has very clearly stated. If you are losing, it becomes the duty of the government. And government is what? We are a constitutional authority, we pay taxes, they are our servants. Kindly understand, whether it is legislature, parliament, bureaucracy, judiciary for that matter. Judiciary is there to interpret the law. They are paid by the taxes of citizens. So, they should work in the welfare and development in a transparent and accountable way, inviting everything from you and for your own selves. If you understand this, no one will ask or no one will try to mandate. So that is why today's topic is very, very important and crucial. Hope you all understood why Maya Valecha ji was trying to put so many things because of this. And see, vaccinated persons and all. So now this discrimination will go away once you understand Article 14, 19 and 21. That is why we are just trying to bring out one after the other. International treaties are being violated. We have shown you what is Nuremberg Code 1947 and she will explain how this code has come into effect. Then you have UNESCO Universal Declaration on, what is that? Bioethics and Human Rights. UNESCO Universal Declaration on Bioethics and Human Rights. We are making your life simple. UN International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, Article 7. So Article 6 and Article 7 are very clear. Along with that, Nuremberg Code 1947. UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights, articles there. Article 3. Then Helsinki Declaration Guidelines for Treatment of Human Subjects. It's very, very important. All these are there. We have understood fundamental rights. Now what world says? Because they always keep on telling you WHO, WHO, WHO. WHO is bound by this because WHO is a part of United Nations. Now I am reading all which are there very much in the UN. UN declared accepted articles, rights issue. UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 3, because it is right, you are right for treatment. Your right to know which treatment you are being taken, what is the disease, whether did they identify the disease, did they diagnose the disease, whether it is viral or anything else, is there any treatment for that? Because you have every right to know that the treatment or prevention, treatment protocols, they went on changing chloroquine to now cocktails. Prevention, Vaccine, 14-day quarantine, they said 99.9% will recover on their own with natural immunity, they stated. You will get natural immunity, they say stated. Herd immunity you will get, they themselves stated. Then all of a sudden, for 0.001%, under trial, unproved vaccines in the form of prevention, no liability and no compensation, spending 35,000 crores in the budget, and not only that, ad hoc various under the various heads, thousands of crores again being spent. Why? For whose sake? A disease which gets cured on its own. 14 days quarantine, you have all seen. We have all recovered. We have all got immunity. Still, to fly, to move, they ask you for RT-PCR. Vaccination, why should we need? These are all in front of you. These are your rights. Once you understand the rights, you question them. Then they will keep quiet. Or else ask them to give it in writing. Helsinki Declaration, guidelines for treatment of human subjects, very fundamental and very clear. Then you have this Geneva Declaration, oath by doctors not to violate human rights under any circumstances. Kindly understand, this is a big declaration on your screen. Geneva Declaration very clearly states, oath by doctors not to violate human rights under any circumstances. If I say I am happy with Anandaya's Ayurveda Corona treatment, Andhra Pradesh High Court allowed 4 variants. Surprisingly, the I1 still pending. Reasons best known to them. When I am in, even Ayush also cleared it. When untested under trial vaccines are showing that they are not enough to control, not enough to prevent. We have seen Pathanamthitta, 7,000 cases. Likewise, daily we are watching Covishield or Covaxin. Then why not Ayush? I am interested in Ayush. I am interested in naturopathy. I am interested in something else. It is my health, my life. How can you force on me? Fundamentally, it is violating your rights. That is why this Geneva Declaration, oath by doctors, not to violate human rights under any circumstances. When they want to inject right from nuts, everyone, you have a right to question, because you can drag them to the court. If it is forced upon you, they should inform you, they should give you the advantages. They can always inform what is happening in the society, for the betterment of the society, for your own self first, for your family, society, state and country. Let them come out very clearly, openly. No problem. And then everyone has a right to health. You have a right to select whether you want to go for vaccine, whether you want to go for untested drug trials, which have happened. You have seen how WHO went on withdrawing remdesivir, everything they went on withdrawing. Why? Then what about those who have used them and lost their lives? What about those, though they have recovered, spent lakhs of rupees, still they are suffering today? Will WHO, Indian Council of Medical Research, Drug Controller Government of India, all state governments, because health is a state subject, will they take on up the responsibility, including the union government, union cabinet? They are answerable. Then, doctor's oath, first to do no harm. Again, what I was trying to tell you. Doctor's oath is first to do no harm. You ask them whether they are doing, when they are treating you with the drugs once you are hospitalized. Geneva Declaration, are they following the Geneva Declaration, oath by doctors? That doctors not to violate human rights under any circumstances. And doctor's oath, first oath is first to do no harm. That means whatever treatment or prevention should not be more harmful and dangerous than your own disease itself. That is fundamental. Try to understand. Then this is the big and free and informed voluntary consent is absolutely essential. Right to refuse. If I am wrong, Honorable Prime Minister to Honorable Chief Ministers, Union Cabinet Secretary to State Chief Secretaries, Indian Council of Medical Research to Drug Controller Government of India, and all other Director of Health in the every state, and including IMA, you correct me if I am wrong. Are these things wrong? Are these rights, international rights, which we also have in our constitution? If they are wrong, kindly correct me. Kindly correct this show. I am welcoming you to join the show if we are wrong. Free and informed voluntary consent is absolutely essential. That means right to refuse, right from Supreme Court to High Court. Now you have to take care of the citizens' health. How is that? A petition since May on vaccination trials is still on hold. Today is September 4th. How can this be? Meanwhile, forced vaccinations, mandatory vaccinations, you are threatening the movement, saying that you have to be vaccinated or RT-PCR test. Now I ask through this show, whether the government, whether union or state governments, including ICMR, DCGI, will give a guarantee, will certify that 100% RT-PCR is real one, wherein no false positives or false negatives are done. And then treatment protocols which were followed, why they were followed, now which you are trying to follow and which may be followed in future, are they 100% treatment protocols for this particular disease? You have to make it very clear. And then vaccinations, prevention. When India, we have been questioning what is Indian medicine. Every household, right from kitchen, you have all those wonderful daily usage, right from masala, spices to everything, which are proving to be very, very efficacious in protecting one's health. So such is a beautiful Indian culture. Is it right or not? Then Ayurveda, Anandaya's Ayurvedic medicine. Is it working or not? Likewise, Siddha, Naturopathy, Khadarvallis, he has challenged you. Through food, he said you can. Now, Maya Valechi also very clearly she is stating, what are you doing? Why is this commercial assessment of health? Why are you imposing? So, free and informed voluntary consent is absolutely essential. Right to refuse. Article 14, Article 19, Article 21 and all these international rights also I have put it across. So ask your doctor or anyone, first do no harm. Are you sticking to that? These are very, very, very fundamental. We feel sad that people, what does government of India, this I am talking to you to start with. You can check. Vaccination is voluntary, no one can force. Harshavardhan, then health minister. Is it right or wrong? No discrimination on basis of vaccination. No compensation because vaccination is voluntary. Then how are you providing? Now you are trying to impose it. Government has to say, because government runs on the taxes paid by the people. We have every right to know. No compensation, it states, because vaccination is voluntary. Meghalaya High Court, Guwahati High Court very clearly stated that orders vaccination is voluntary, unvaccinated cannot be discriminated. Supreme Court of India, no forced vaccination, still under trial. And even if that goes against you, have seen all these rights, they can never refuse you. But coercion, force, illegal circulars being used to vaccinate people, strategy of World Health Organization and World Economic Forum. What is this? Who are they to force us? Now you understand, citizens, honorable citizens, who are they to force us? We are a constitutional authority by ourselves and we have right to life, right to personal liberty, and you have seen all those international conventions also. How can they force? Who are they to force us? So strategy of WHO, they always quote. If they quote you blindly, if you are trying to find blindly, now all the state and union government, including ICMR, DCGI are answerable. Why is that they kept on changing the treatment protocols? What about so many people who have died in your own way? What about so many people who have spent lakhs? Why did you change the protocols? That means, is it trial and error method? And that too, concerning human lives. We are not machines. Any wrong mistake, as has been the case of with drug trial, now in the case of treatment in the way of under trial vaccines, how can our lives be subjected as if we are machines? Kindly understand. That's why we said keep relevant papers with you to avoid coercive vaccination and harassment. File FIR for assault vaccinated by force. We have shown you all this. Take a printout of all this, keep it with you and start questioning. That is how you can save yourself from these unwanted, under trial vaccines. Once they enter, God knows what's happening. If that is the case, let them be liable, let them be compensated. People be compensated. And it should be only with proper information, they can never away. And then these are the adverse effects noted, deaths, deadliest history. I'm just trying to put it across what were there in the happening in the other countries. Not to scare you, because you should be well informed. It is up to you whether you want to go for vaccine, whether you want to take allopathic treatment, whether you want to simply quarantine and overcome, expose yourself to sun, hot water we call in Chuduvellam in Malayalam, and then eat nutritious food and stay happy. Happy, without any fear. Whether you want to practice that, it is absolutely yours. Whether Khadarvallis, nice therapy, Ayurveda, Gujarat Ayurveda, whatever you want. We are just trying to put this across. This is how we try to inform. And then we say it is up to you. No question. But as a concerned citizen, we have every right to demand and know as to what is happening there. Otherwise, you will be cutting a sorry figure. Because Constitution gave you such rights, and if you are not able to implement them, tomorrow if you go to court, court will simply decline. Because ignorance of law is a never excuse, is not an excuse before law. Keep this in your mind. Courts will simply turn it away. So, you should be sharp enough to understand these. For that reason, we said your health is your right. How can you try to impose the dictates of pharmacy, or many people are commenting insurance mafia? And okay, they were asking me to play your the other link also. I'm just trying to get that link for you. This is not. I'm just trying to get that link of Maya Valecha. Yes, madam. Now you can start commenting before I just try to get them.
So, what exactly through nationalization also I'm trying to say is, all these years we have been totally dependent. We thought people in authority, either politicians or health
Yeah,
authorities,
madam, it
all
is here.
those who are in ICMR, they are.
I am
thought
playing your
that
video,
they
ma'am.
will-
नमस्कार, मैं डॉक्टर माया वलेचा गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट हूँ। मुझे
तो-
पढ़ाई के समय से ही सामाजिक कामों में काफ़ी दिलचस्पी रही। देश में स्वास्थ्य सेवाओं के राष्ट्रीयकरण की मांग को समझने की इस बातचीत में आपका स्वागत है। सामान्य समय में भी हमारा ये अनुभव रहा है कि बीमारी के ठीक होने के बाद डॉक्टर और दवाई का बिल हमें मार डालता है। ऊपर से बिन जरूरी जांच, दवाई और बिन जरूरी ऑपरेशंस तक की बातें बाहर आती रहती है, मगर उसका सही अंदाज हमें कभी नहीं आता। मगर हमारे स्वास्थ्य और जेब दोनों को नुकसान कई बार होता है। मगर कोरोना के संकट के दरमियान ये बिल्कुल बेनकाब हो गया। हमें पूरा पता चल गया कि बहुमत जनता के लिए खानगी स्वास्थ्य सेवाएं बिल्कुल काम की नहीं हैं। जिन सरकारी अस्पतालों को निजीकरण के दौर में बिल्कुल उपेक्षित किया गया था, वही इस संकट के समय में हमारे काम आया। इसे हमने जागरूक कर दिया कि स्वास्थ्य जैसे अहम मुद्दे में हम ये दो तरह की स्वास्थ्य सेवाओं के बीच में हम अपने आप को उपेक्षित नहीं कर सकते। कई कारणोंवश इस परिस्थिति में सार्वजनिक क्षेत्र की हमेशा उपेक्षा होती है, वहाँ अच्छी सेवा नहीं मिलती है। मगर खानगी क्षेत्र पूरे तरह से कॉमर्शियल हो जाता है, वाणिज्यिक हो जाता है, सिर्फ पैसे के लिए काम करता है। हमें एक मजबूत राष्ट्रीय स्वास्थ्य सेवा की व्यवस्था खड़ी करनी होगी, जो रोजाना और संकट समय दोनों में काम आए, और उसके लिए लोगों के लोकतांत्रिक नियंत्रण में काम करे। ऐसे राष्ट्रीयकरण, सामाजिकरण की ज़रूरत है। इसके लिए हमें मांग उठानी है, कुछ मांगे लेके आगे आना है। पहले तो सबसे पहले संपत्ति के मूल्यांकन पर आधारित उचित मुआवजे के साथ निजी क्षेत्र के सभी अस्पताल और दवाई की कंपनियों का अधिग्रहण किया जाए और उसे सरकारी ढांचे में समावेश कर दिया जाए। छोटे दवाखाने मोहल्ला क्लिनिक बन जा सकते हैं। हमारे देश में सरकारी स्वास्थ्य सेवाओं का एक अच्छा ढांचा मौजूद है, जैसे गाँव में उपस्वास्थ्य केंद्र, प्राथमिक स्वास्थ्य केंद्र, सामुदायिक स्वास्थ्य केंद्र और ज़िला स्तर पर बड़े अस्पताल, उससे भी बड़े अस्पताल बड़े शहरों में, ये सब है। मगर ज़रूरत है उनमें पर्याप्त डॉक्टर, अन्य कर्मचारी और दवाइयाँ उपलब्ध कराना, उनकी संख्या बढ़ाना। सरकार जो अमीरों को टैक्स में लाखों करोड़ों रुपयों की छूट देती है, वो बंद करके ये सामाजिक सेवाओं में वो पैसा लगाना होगा। डॉक्टरों को बारी बारी गांव में अनिवार्य रूप से जाने के कानून पेपर पर ही रह जाते हैं, उसे हकीकत बनाना पड़ेगा। उन्हें एक अच्छा गरिमामय वेतन दिया जाए, मगर गांव की सेवा उतनी ही ज़रूरी है। और हाँ, ये पूरी व्यवस्था लोगों के हित में चले, उसके लिए अस्पताल को चलाने के लिए बनी कमेटी में हॉस्पिटल के स्टाफ के साथ साथ सीधे सिर्फ इसी काम के लिए 2 साल के चुने गए उसी विस्तार से लोगों को रखा जाए। हर महीने एक सार्वजनिक मीटिंग करके लोगों की शिकायत और सुझाव सुने जाए, सुझाव बॉक्स को वहीं खोला जाए। अस्पताल आए हर पेशेंट को एक सर्वेक्षण फॉर्म से अपना अनुभव देने की सुविधा दी जाए। किसी तरह भी एलोपैथी, होम्योपैथी, आयुर्वेद या अन्य स्वदेशी सभी उपचारों की अच्छी ज़रूरी बातों का समन्वय करके स्वास्थ्य के शिक्षण से लेके सेवा तक ये सब लोगों तक पहुँचे, इसकी एक व्यवस्था बनाई जाए। हमारे सुरक्षित भविष्य के लिए लोगों को सरकार पर यह सब करने के लिए एक दबाव बनाना पड़ेगा। यही हमारी आज की प्राथमिकता है। आप जहाँ भी है, गांव में है, शहर में है, लोगों से इस बारे में चर्चा करके एक बहुत बड़ा जनमत बनाना पड़ेगा। स्वास्थ्य सेवाओं के राष्ट्रीयकरण की मांग को लेके सरकार पर दबाव बनाना पड़ेगा, तभी हमारे जीवन में, हमारी स्वास्थ्य सेवाओं में सुधार आ सकता है। नमस्कार।
Yes, I hope now all your followers will not be because I've been receiving so many, so
Yeah.
many, and
So what you were saying,
Yeah.
I'm carrying it forward. That's all these years we depended on our politicians or the health officials of ICMR or other health officials, that they will do or they will work in the interest of the people. But now we have to realize that we will have to take interest. We will have to take interest not only in our rights, but what these people are actually doing. That they are working completely. During the trial of HPV vaccine in India, it was found that even ICMR officials, they worked hands in gloves with the pharmaceutical companies. So we know now, after the experience of HPV vaccine, after the experience of swine flu vaccine, can we still allow our healthcare system in private hands, whether it is drug industry or big hospitals? We have to understand that this private profit motivated industry, it's no more a service. These industries are not working in the interest of people. This particular industry has to be nationalized, or rather it's socialized, because it will be under the control of the people. We will say what we need for our health. Health is not just giving a medicine if you have headache, or health is not just giving a medicine if you have fever. Health is a very comprehensive big subject, and we will have to take care of ourselves in the sense that we have to take care more in the public life. In the public, like if the public hospital is not working properly, we have to go. We have to show our rights there. That we are the people, we are the owner of this country and owner of all public property. And it's we who will tell you how to run these hospitals. It's we who will tell what drugs are required. There are enough enlightened and good will people with goodwill who can say whether vaccine is required and they are shouting. There are experts in the field of immunology, epidemiology, virology, who are saying there's no third wave. Third wave cannot come to India because people are immune. Whatever they will label third wave, it's something else. Something else like normal monsoon diseases, they can label third wave with this RT-PCR test, which is not even specific, which is not, I mean, it can give positive results at 35 and above, and our government insists that we will do it up to 35. So you can imagine, I mean, it has so many fallacies, even statistical fallacies are there. And with that, this fear is created. Why? Because pharmaceutical companies want to earn with the vaccine. The way you said 35,000 crore only, I mean, that particular, apart from that, all other budgets, people are not getting medicine and investigations for tuberculosis, simple, for which treatments are existing. So at the cost of all our rest of our life, our health, only one, and that to non-existent disease is given importance because pharmaceutical companies want to earn. So we have to take this particular healthcare system under our control with nationalization, but nationalization is not the end. We have to be fully awake that how it's running. You said our rights, but first we have to be aware that yes, these are our rights, and we should not focus our life only on our career or say our daily routine, but what's happening. We have to be really a social being now and see what's happening in the society. Our health, our education system, these are our properties and we have to run them. Take full interest, full participation. If there is no right, we have to establish our rights. We can ask for our rights, that these are our rights, we want this as our right. You said some people were talking about insurance and all that. What our slogan, which we gave in our leaflets also, that my birth in India is my insurance. My
Wonderful.
Indian citizenship is my insurance.
Wonderful.
With that, I should be able to get any and every free quality healthcare system. That's my insurance. We don't want insurance companies to earn. I mean, all that money can be put for a better use. One economist, Prabhat Patnaik, you must have heard the name. He has actually calculated that just 2 tax on super rich. When all whole middle class thinks we are rich. No, we are talking about super rich. Okay, super rich people, if they are taxed only 2 things, wealth tax and inheritance tax, then education, health, old age pension, disabled people, all this care should be easily taken care of in our country. Because our country, on one hand, we have crores of poor people, but the richest people of the world are also existing in our country. So we have to understand that by taxing but what actually government does is, government gives all the tax holidays and tax-free facilities to them. To them, they will give land at just throwaway price. So what we have, because that is public property, land of this country is our land.
Right.
Government just can't give at throwaway prices to them. So we want our money, our property to be used for the people of India, because that belongs to, all this money belongs to people of India. And that right we have to understand first, take interest in public life first, and then establish our rights, that these are our rights, Constitution has given. If they are vague, we have to concretize them, that no, this is the way hospitals will run. This is the way pharmaceutical industry, because it will be owned by us people, and it will be managed by us people. That these are the drugs. People are not getting drugs for simple, treatable diseases. And you are given costliest, government will fund costliest medicine. Governments purchased all these remdesivir, and do you know this Maharashtra government, they purchased all these experimental, costly and harmful drugs for people with our money. With our money, these experimental drugs were forced upon us. And not that everybody didn't know. If we have a proper system where people have their voice, today's system doesn't give us voice. So our fight is twofold. On one hand, definitely Corona right now, we have to bring out the truth. Whatever the international experts are saying, that how these vaccines are harmful, how we don't need the vaccine, that is also very obvious for our country. All these things will, but at the same time, how to change the system for the better, where our voice is heard, where our money is utilized for our betterment, well, all our traditional knowledge is used, and allopathy is not the only savior in this drug. Our whole civilization was flourishing actually without any of these Western medicine. So maybe Western medicine might be helping, but let's first, by nationalizing, putting everything to the people, all the pathies, Ayurvedic, homeopathy, give them equal footing, and then disease working better, and or say particular medicine might be working better. So all that has to be corrected, and that can be done only by nationalization of healthcare system.
Yeah.
Under this private system, they will promote only allopathy, and that to big pharmaceutical industry, where they find that this particular medicine will be profitable. They will promote that medicine.
Wonderful. So this is for today. Very clearly, we will take Dr. Maya Valecha's word. Healthcare should be nationalized, not just nationalized. That means everyone should be aware why it is being nationalized. Not just treatment hospitals, including pharmacy industry, should be nationalized, so that this wealth doesn't go to 5 or 10 families. That is how it has been, and they will not try to impose that in this pandemic, because they are funding the political parties. This is the vital link, kindly understand. These political parties represent us in a democracy, people participatory constitutional democracy. They are our representatives, they are our servants, because we are a constitutional authority. Article 14, 19, 21 and all internal conventions were presented to you, and Dr. Maya Valecha, in such a beautiful way, herself being a gynecologist, having experienced working in government hospitals, how government hospitals used to function in 1990, how slowly they were taken away consciously by government not funding, not providing sufficient funds to government hospitals, allowing them to die on their own while allowing the private players to flourish, because through them they started to get funded in the election and whatnot. I need not say, the people at the hierarchy, many of them, through this channel I am stating, they are having shares, they are shareholders in many pharmaceutical companies. If this is wrong, let them prove it. So, those vested interests, the conflict of interests, how can they impose and influence on health of people? Health is wealth. As a doctor, I say prevention is better than cure. What is Indian medicine? You describe it right from kitchen. When you go out, all those trees where we breathe fresh air. Is this not India and indigenous? Now the government of the day, when it talks about India, Indianism, how is that you are trying to get influenced by something being imposed in the form of WHO and other bodies and Indian Council of Medical Research? We have shown in this through our channel how they are connected with whom, and Director Control Government of India, under trial undertaken vaccines They have been given emergency use authorization for vaccines prevention and treatment protocols. And how remdesivir to now cocktail, how they went on changing, inviting the wrath of people. People died, people were spending lakhs in times of corona, nowhere to go to earn, still they were forced to spend lakhs. Governments of the day, what were you doing? That is why Dr. Maya Valecha is demanding that nationalization of health, no discrimination in quality health, even for that matter education too, so that every citizen born in India is insured. Why the hell you need private insurance? Why should you pay all those fat insurance premiums? Government of India, every state government you have to answer. A citizen being born, doesn't he have a right? Is that not an insurance? That is why through the other show also we demanded, attach Aadhaar and PAN card to school education fee and the private hospitals fee. Then everything will come out how they are looting. When they are looting, why these governments who should work in the welfare of the people are keeping quiet? That is $1 million question. That is the reason why this show asking all honorable citizens to understand, to become aware of your rights, start questioning, they will run away. समझदार बनो, आपके हक के बारे में आप लड़ो और आप ప్రశ్న करने की आदत सीखिए. చట్టంలో ఉన్నటువంటి లొసుగులను మీరు బయట పెట్టాలి అంటే మీరు మీ హక్కులను తెలుసుకోండి, ఎరకగాండి. ఎరక కావాలి మీ హక్కులు, మన హక్కులు, మనమే రాజ్యాంగ వ్యవస్థ. మన హక్కులు మనకు తెలిసినప్పుడు మనము వారిని ప్రతిఘటించవచ్చు. ప్రభుత్వాలు మన పన్నుల ద్వారానే నడుస్తాయి కాబట్టి మేలుకొనండి. జాగో, వేకప్ ఇండియా. I think everyone is understood the purpose of this show. Let me again remind you, fear is your worst enemy. Fear is your worst enemy. Awareness your strength, your rights, and then you are a constitutional authority. Through your taxes, whether it is central or union, state governments they will have to run in the welfare and development in a transparent and accountable way. When it comes to health matters. You are Raja, Maharaja. You have every choice. Whether allopathy, Ayurvedic, homeopathy, Siddha or anything, no one can influence you. You should be an informed citizen. That is the fundamental duty of the governments also. ICMR, DCG, I hope they will also now understand. And Supreme Courts, people have been writing, how is that 2 trials are still on hold since May when it is concerning with the health of people. And every High Court has a responsibility. They should not wait for a Supreme Court judgment. It is your fundamental right to come to the rescue of citizens' life, right to life and personal liberty. And Supreme Court need not interfere when it comes to that. Otherwise, thank you, madam. So take care. See you soon with another thing.
See you. Namaste.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all the people in India, Sukha Nidra Shubharatri for all the world over. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Take care. Thank you, madam.
Night.